Yo. All right. We're here. Welcome. Think I'm in focus? Think my audio is good? All right. It's party time. I dressed for the occasion. I wanted something that says, who likes to party? I do. And I have officially launched my Patreon page to the fanfare of pretty much no one. That's okay. This thing's going to take time to build. Tonight I am chilling. I picked up a time that I thought maybe people were off work, would want to hang out, maybe shoot the shit, talk some. So I'm talking to no one right now, which is totally cool. I'll talk to no one. So I am tonight going to work on building this kit from Bubble Sound Instruments. And this is one of those things that I have been wanting to do for a long time, but just haven't had the gumption to do so. And tonight's the night. Since it's a late night stream, no one's working, having a drink. Probably also gonna relax a little bit more tonight. Got a couple different views. This is a different view. You're seeing the bench behind me where I do most of my work. Sorry about that. Right here, this is a memory mug that has been in my shop for way too long. I think I've said that about every time that I've introduced the instrument. We're going well on it. It's got 6 voices, 3 oscillators per voice. And I've gone from it being completely dead and not doing anything to all 6 voices working, 3 oscillators per voice. I've got all what is that? 3 times 6 is 18. I've got all 18 oscillators working, and I'm tuning them. The only problem is once I get to the part of the service manual where it says hit auto tune and check that all 6 voices are tuned, it fails that part. What it is. A lot of this is patience and being willing to take your time, figure things out. Tonight is going to be real loosey-goosey. I chose this time period because I thought, people might be off work, might be willing to watch, might be willing to engage. So I'm looking for engagements. If you are tuning in, please let me know where you're watching from. Ask any questions you want, and I mean any questions you want. I may answer them vaguely if it's a little too personal, or I may answer them quite directly, and that's cool. I have the ability to bring somebody else onto the stream. If someone is interested in that, maybe reach out to me via Instagram or text if you're a friend or client, and you want to be on video. Like, I'll put you on. I don't care. It's a real chill night tonight. And tonight I am working on what you see on the right of the screen, or my right of the screen. I'm going to be populating a board and hopefully getting a VCO working here. It's called a VCO B from Bubble Sound. I'm going to have to look up the build guide, but this is one of those kits that you just basically populate the board, solder it in, clean it up, test it. So if you want to talk, if you want to engage, I'm all here for it. All right, I got 3 boards. And I really did very, very little preparation for this. So let me go ahead and bring up the build guide. If the build guide is still available, because I think I bought this maybe seven years ago. Yeah, I went to NobCon, which is a very cool con, if you're familiar with the cons, that is held in Schaumburg, Illinois. If you're interested at all in modular synthesizers, I highly recommend it. It's typically in September. It's very, very cool, good times, yada, yada. So I'm looking at the build guide here. My apologies if my neck is craned. It's because I have put my second monitor way over there because I'm really lacking in preparation. But this is a live stream. That's what it's all about. Hey, Derek. Good to see you. Excited to learn a thing. Well, I may not be teaching a thing. I may just be bullshitting all night. But I know that you know that we can have a good conversation. So if you have anything that you want to say or talk about, by all means, let's go. So I am on, let me go ahead and share this screen real quick. I'm on Bubble Sound, and I'm going to share screen. I am looking at the kit that I have sat on for 7 years and not worked on. And yeah, this is my opportunity to do the work that I have avoided. This has sat in a box for years. And I'm just looking for the build kit, the build guide. And it's not wanting to give it to me there. So I'll go to the website. And okay, that's what I've got. Yep, VCOB. Click here to download the user manual. Oh boy. It would have been good to prepare and have the build guide available. But look at this. I don't know. Okay, let me throw this up here. Look at this. See here? It's got all the little component locations laid out for me. And I know how to build a board, so let's just go ahead and do this. I'm going to start with the resistors, and we're going to put them in, solder them, and go from there. How's the audio? $47R. I grabbed the one resistor. That's a lone feller. There he is. There's the 47R. So I just plopped that in place. Yeah, so today's been kind of a busy day. I launched my Patreon page, and I'm just celebrating that by doing a project that I have not paid attention to for years. So what's a modular synth, right? So anybody that knows a synth might know a synth by a specific keyboard name, like say a Roland Juno 106, right? Or a Moog Model D, or a Mini Moog, or any one of these wonderful names of wonderful synthesizers that have been around for decades. I actually just finished working on a Moog Model D. That's why that one came to mind. And yeah, it was a real pain in the dick. Oh yeah, tonight. I'm really letting loose. I don't really give two shits. So I'm going to talk about whatever you all want to talk about, and I'm just going to basically do this work, paying attention to the screen and responding to comments. I'm looking for a 47 ohm resistor spot. You know, if someone were new to this sort of work, this would be pretty daunting. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I've been doing this for long enough that I just get to it. And I know that the first thing that you want to do when you're populating a board is work on the components that are the smallest and the closest to the board. I'm not seeing any 47 ohm resistors in that sheet. And this doesn't look like a 47 ohm resistor, 47R. All right, looks like I'm going to grab my multimeter. Anyway, just came back from therapy, so you know I'm good and prepped for all of life and the challenges that brings. Mostly, I just want to talk to folks. All right, pull that in there. I'm looking at a 100K ohm resistor, which I see several spots for. So, what do folks want to talk about? I see you. I see you, Derek. Love my friends, love my people. Okay, so this is 100K 1% resistors, and boy, they're gonna make this so I do need the build kit. That's not fun. I'm just gonna go blind into this. I go into a lot of things, including live streams. Okay. I'm gonna pull this back up so y'all can see what I'm searching for. Why does all pop music sound the same? That's a fucking great question. And it actually reminds me that I was going to put on some pop music in the background here. Thank you so much. Pop music. Pop music. So we have to, first off, think about the word pop. What is pop? Pop is popular. And popular tends to be what sells. So when something does sell and people buy, that creates sort of a feedback loop. And that feedback loop means that there's a formula found, right? And that formula is found to create capital. And so many times it's just all going to be kind of in a feedback loop of people buy it, people listen to it, it's played on the radio, therefore more of it is getting made over and over again. Is there a specific pop song or album or something that you're thinking of specifically? Also, there's a lot of formula in the mixing and mastering of pop music. Boy, I can't find the build guide to save my life here. The internet is dying, folks. You search for something on Google, and it's no longer just right there in front of you. Instead, you have so many ads, right? So, back to pop music, right? Like I said, there's a formula that's created by the feedback loop of the listener, and that means that people go into a mix and they go in with an artist, and the producer typically is looking to create the same sound that is sold in the past. And so they'll use similar instruments, they'll use all sorts of the same things to recreate new music. This new music is called Drook, and I've been a little obsessed with it. It is poppy, but it's also random, which touches my ADHD. Give me just a second. I am looking to find this goddamn build guide. Oh, look, there's a user manual. 404 not found. Okay, the internet is broken. What am I looking for? Internet Archive. Use the Wayback Machine. If something you're looking for fails, always go back to the Wayback Machine, because somebody may have touched on that. So unless someone is coming into the pop music scene and doing something different, the machine is just basically going to continue to use the same formula over and over again. Oh, yes. Y'all see that? I just found it. Cool. And so even just the approach to the music is going to be very formulaic, and people are going to just take it, copy, paste. It's unfortunate. So mastering wise, the thing about pop music too is like, it's got to catch your ear, it's got to pull you in, it's got to make you feel it, right? And so when you feel it, it's commonly because it's loud or it's balanced. And so you're just taking the ingredients and you're baking the cake over and over again. That's a very loose interpretation of why pop music sounds the same. You have anything current that you're listening to that I should listen to? I don't know. Can you even hear my background music? And oftentimes too, as far as the production quality is concerned, if somebody's sold a lot of records, that engineer that recorded it, that producer that created that sound, is absolutely going to be the same person. I can't remember. It's not very loud. Yeah. I don't know that I can change that without copyright shit. So like, think Britney Spears, right? Britney Spears had like a Swedish team behind her for several years, and that Swedish team got a lot of work because Britney Spears sold a lot of records. So, look at the track listing. Look at the what we would call credits, right, in movies, right? Look at who's producing it. Look at who's engineering it. If you find the same name over and over and over again, that's very much why. It's because they're getting lots of work off of one record. All right. I'm still having trouble finding this because all I found was a user guide. So I'm going to go to Bubble sound-instruments.com. And I'm looking at the VCOB. Look at that. There it is. See the following videos from Details. Wonderful. All right, going back to Wayback Machine. The internet is so hard to use these days. I'm going to go way back to 2018 when I purchased this in September. Look at that, right after KnobCon, which is like all the cons, but this one is for synthesizers. Oh, look at that old page. I'm seeing it. Yes, cool. Thank you, Wayback Machine, for giving me the opportunity to find friggin' document. Come on now. What do you think? Why do you think that pop music is all sounds the same? They use a lot of the same instruments. They use a lot of the same sequencing. Gotta be kidding me. Come on, dude. Wayback Machine's not working even. Oh, this sucks. Not what I was looking for. Yes. Ding, ding, ding. Why do we have so many choices and all of it tastes the same, right? We have 15 million different choices, but even when you pick one, it's the same as 14 million others. Capitalism. Feed the machine. Create your own little, I'm sorry, I'm trying to do thinking and talking at the same time. Take suggestions. Improve your taste in music. Talk to your friends. Find out what they're listening to. Look for independent artists. Go out to shows. you know, your taste is going to be unique to you first and foremost, which is the beautiful thing. So, how many weird friends do you have that have, you know, unusual or unique takes on music? Ask them for suggestions. Community, community, community. Yes, it is absolutely possible. So without you, without you actually being a musician, I would say focus on how it makes you feel, right? Um, Identify music that touches you in a very specific emotional way, and look further into that artist. Go through their catalog, you know, find communities online that maybe are surrounded about that artist and see what their influences were, right? Um, Build your taste in music through community. I would always say be eclectic as fuck, though, right? And I say that very specific phrase because that's something that a former manager of mine said to me, was just like, Wachter, you're eclectic as fuck. And it stuck with me. And the only reason he said that was because I was literally in charge of the music when I was working pro audio at Guitar Center. And there would be one day where I would be playing hardcore punk, and then I'd turn around the next day and be blasting pop or disco, or something that's was just completely different. And it was just one of those things that, like, he recognized that, called me out, and we were always close friends. Shout out to Brad Durston, if and wherever you are. I hope that you're well. I mean, be dogmatic, be fanatic, be about community. It's the only way that we got here, right? Too many people think that, like, oh, I can do this by myself, but no, man, fuck that. It's not about that. I'm not finding a build guide to save my life. Okay, so here's my dilemma, right? I've got 100K ohm resistors. Let me pull this over. All right. No, I've got 100K ohm resistors, and then I've got 100K 1% resistors, right? I've got multiple spots in my board for 100K ohm resistors, but where do I put the 1%ers? Well, I would need a schematic to know that, or I would need a build guide to show me that. But I have neither, because I've waited so long to build this that I cannot find the build guide. So here I go. I'm just going to work with what I have, figure that out, and go from there. But yeah, so shit, man, community was kind of like back in the good old days where the internet was just starting. Like that's kind of where I found a lot of stuff, is just like the people who were out there putting things online, putting guides, talking about music, talking about gear, talking about all these things. And that's how we thrived. And then it's kind of just turned into something else, which I guess I'm participating in, right? By being here, by being a content creator, by being, you know, a an internet personality. But you know, I do hope that that it comes back around. You know, things are cyclical. We can always hope and work for better things, which, you know, is why in my video about my Patreon page, I talk about community so much. It's important to me, you know. I didn't I didn't learn in a bubble. I didn't learn from just a bunch of books. I learned from people and having conversations and challenging and uh, being challenged. So, like, let's get back to community. Like, let's find a way to get outside of this space where we're isolated and we don't talk to each other and we just perform in front of people. Let's talk, you know, let's find our people. Let's be family again. Cool. Well, I had a second viewer, but they're gone. So whatever. Um, anyway, make it all about community. I think that that's important for all aspects, right? If we're wanting to survive the ever crushing weight of a society that's owned by a select few of people, the only way to change that is to rebel, go against the isolation. I know you feel the same way, Derek, so doing a little preaching to choir sort of thing here. If you all don't know, my buddy Derek is a artist and a wonderful person that I met through community organizing for uh, renters. And I hope that run is still 100% going and that y'all are building, because renters need voices and they need the opportunity to have autonomy. Autonomy, big word, big word. What's the word autonomy mean, right? Uh, means having the ability to self-determine how your life is going to go, having the power to make changes in your community, live a better life, survive, but not only survive, but to thrive. Beautiful. Love to hear it. The heart of Run is not dead. All right. Love it, love it, love it. All right. So if you don't know, Run stands for Renters United Nashville. If you are a renter in Nashville, I highly recommend you seek them out, but come in willing to work because there is so much work to be done. The rebellion does not happen without 1,000 flowers. I'm waxing poetic here. Oh, there it is, 1.5 meg. So does the kits, are all the tools available in the kit? No, all the components are available in the kit, right? So what you're seeing, this big pile of parts, is everything that will go on this board. But the actual tools to put it together, you have to have on your own. And that brings up a good thing to point out, right? What are the tools? I'm basically predicting these are all the tools that I need to make this project happen. And that is a pair of pliers, some snips, soldering iron, solder. Hopefully I don't have to use the desoldering mic. Derek, if you want to share how people can get involved with Run, by all means, I will be happy to throw up any kind of links that you have for it. Know that it's a lot to take on, but to be quite honest, like, renters deserve as much voice in our politics as any homeowner, and they need to be engaged. They need to be activated and inspired by the changes that happen whenever people stand up for themselves and each other, right? Spend a lot of time talking to folks. There's a lot of fear out there, right? Well, what if my landlord hears that I'm trying to talk to my neighbors? What if they don't want me to organize? And most landlords don't. Boy, I am going to get on this soapbox. You are going to get me going on the landlord tenant struggle. That's okay. It's still a big part of my heart, even if I'm not around as much as I used to be. Yo, anytime too, like, Derek, anytime that you all want to go knock on doors and have a date set, man, I am happy to hop on that. I love knocking on doors and talking to folks. Can be a little intimidating, you know, if you're new at it, but once you just learn to listen and respond to the concerns that they have, it can be a lot of fun. It can be a lot of fun to see somebody realize that they have hidden powers. Well, I am just babbling. I see that shared vulnerability to power, right? Doesn't matter if you own a home or not. Like, there's a lot of things that can generate fear, but, you know, especially if you're renting and you're out there and your landlord is doing jack shit to make your life, well, not even to make to make your surroundings safe and secure, you need to find the people that are with you. Hold on to them and talk to them. Okay, so what am I proud of this year? Well, I think I'm proud of this moment right here, right? I've been doing a lot of internal work, a lot of searching for myself, and this right here, this is a new chapter for me, and it's one that I'm not even certain where it's going to go or how it's going to work, but, you know, I'm very proud that I've started this. I could have looked at this from a place of fear and self-doubt, and I could have said, nah, that ain't me, and walked away. Here I am. I'm doing the thing, and maybe you'll have fruit and walk wings and all whatever the words are. But yeah, so I'm proud that like I've gotten to this point where I have the cameras, I have the websites, which is patreon.com, search Oddfreak, ODDFREQ. Oh shit. I realize I didn't even fucking I'm sorry. I didn't put the URL as a banner. I should probably do that after I find this 470k ohm resistor on the board. I'm What's up, Perry? I see you. Hey, hey, hey. And gone. Yeah. You know, challenging myself, challenging my own beliefs about who I am and what I can do and all that. Creating I am very proud of creating moments where I can be held accountable in this, right? So even just putting up these live streams, putting up the Patreon. Am I building a Eurorack kit? You betcha I am. I am building a Bubble Sound VCO-B. And I have been struggling to find the build guide. You know, if you wanted to help and search that and send me the link, by all means, I would absolutely love it. But right now, what I'm doing is I'm just basically populating the board. I know the component values because they're labeled in a bag, and I know how to read the board to see where those components go. Earlier, I had an issue with finding that build kit, which I still have yet to find. But my big issue right now that I'm just ignoring for the time being is that I have 2 resistor bags, both 100k ohm. This is actually just going to be one module, Derek, right? So I was talking about modular synths earlier, and I was talking about the experience of playing a synth that people know, like a Roland Juno 106 or a Moog Mini Moog. So what modular synthesizers do is it breaks down those components into each individual component, that each individual aspect of a synthesizer, right? So you've got your oscillators, you've got your filters, you've got your amplifiers, voltage controlled. And so it breaks apart typical synth and puts them into individual modules. And there can be a wide variety of what those modules look like or what they do or how they act within the system. But basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a rack full of modules, and then I'll use patch cables like this big mess to connect them. And so you can basically build your own unique synthesizer from all the components that create a regular synthesizer. So again, am I building a Eurorack kit? I'm building a module for my future Eurorack, which I have been just sitting on. This module kit has been here for 7 years and I haven't done anything with it. But here it is. I'm having a party. So I'm gonna work on the things that I don't typically work on. Do you have a module? Or I'm sorry, do you have a Eurorack? Do you have a kit of your own? Do you have pictures you want to share? By all means, like, I would love to see other people's Eurorack kits. Okay, so right now I've got a 200K ohm resistor. You can see that it's, boy, it's not wanting to focus, is it? There's a red, black, yellow. So that tells me it's a 200K ohm resistor. I think I filled all the 200K ohm resistor spots. So back to this. Yeah, there are 3 boards that will stack on each other, but it will be one module. So I'm really looking forward to, once I've got all my kits built, I'm going to build the rack, and hopefully I'll show that to you all too. If you're a Patreon member, you know, if you just follow me on Instagram, you might see some pics and stuff. But if you're a Patreon member, you will definitely be there with me through the process. By the way, Perry, I've got that stop felt for your DX7 in the shop, and it's just a matter of disassembling your key bed, installing that, and we'll be done with that project. So look to hear from me very soon. I plan on doing that tomorrow. $5.2K. I literally just saw that spot. That's a 5K. I need a 5.1. Do I have a 5K? All right, again, I'm going to put the call out there. If you can find the build guide for a bubble sound, oh, look, I could learn Chinese. If you can find a build guide for the bubble sound VCOB, that would be extremely helpful to me right now, because I've sat on this thing for so long that those links are dead. There's a 620K ohm. I swear I'm going to solder soon here. I hear you. I went on Wayback Machine too, Perry. And, you know, I found like the original website through Wayback Machine, but as soon as you click a link on there, it's gone. I hate to do it again, but you know, if I come to a point where I can't do anymore, I'm gonna have to, like, once again put the project on pause, and I'll reach out to the manufacturer to get that information. But I'll get what I can tonight. All right, so when you're building a kit, it's always good to start with the resistors, because they sit closest to the board, right? Because we'll move on to bigger components like the jacks, the capacitors, the headers. But you want to start with the resistors because it's going to be closest to the board. There's going to be less having to mess with it later on to get it in the right place. 47 ohm, yeah. Got 1 meg. 1 meg is good. It's funny here. So I've got a 1.5 meg ohm resistor But the only 1.5 that I can see is a 15K ohm resistor right there. And I don't want to spend my night searching the internet here in front of y'all. I may have to. Let's just go ahead and do some soldering and snipping first, though. All right, so I've got my resistors in place, or the ones that I have. So now I'm just going to solder these joints. Okay, got a good view. Maybe the lighting's not best. It's too bright? Yeah. All right. So when you're soldering, you just want to hold your soldering iron at the joint and let the solder connect the component to the joint. This is one of those things that it kind of is a feel, and it just takes a lot of time to build up the right feel. So this is my Patreon release party, and you know what I didn't do? Is I didn't put the link to my Patreon in the description or any of that nonsense. And I don't even have it ready to go here. The joys of self-promotion. Here we go. Here's my Patreon page, y'all. I think that's it. So yeah, even if you don't join as a Patreon member, you know, visit the page. Tell me what you think about it. That'd be cool. I'd love feedback, even if you're not a member. Put a lot of thinking into it. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes you put so much thinking into something that you fail to gather that spark that people desire. So I'm all for feedback. All right, so I've got my leads soldered on this board, and I just snip them, making sure not to cut traces, being careful to just cut the leads themselves. So there we go. And then you carefully clean the leads off. Cool, man. I'm glad to see that it's making a little bit of sense. Again, I'm going to run into an issue of Ooh, I know what I'll do. I'll just look up the schematic, right? I can figure it out if I have the schematic. Maybe I can find the VCOB schematic somewhere. Yeah, so once I get all the components in place, then I can put it all together and power it up, and we can hear what sound it makes. I don't know if that's going to happen here between now and 10 p.m. We're going to try. Clean my soldering tip a little bit. Wonder if Bubble Sound removed the build guide because they just decided to stop creating these kits and just sell the modules, because I'm definitely seeing that the modules are available through such companies as Perfect Sound, etc. Be honest, this tip is a little bit big for this. I would probably use a smaller tip, but you know, it's a party night. It's not a work day. This is me doing this for fun. So I'm just chilling. Oh, yes, Perry. Got a link? You got my number too if you want to text it instead of putting it on the YouTube chat. I get it. Did turn off my notifications, but I will take a look. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, okay. So I got a funny story for you all. I got a rather unusual phone call the other night, and I have to answer my phone because that's what businesses do. And the dude on the other line asked me, yeah, manufactured board is fine. Like, um, just being able to see the components on the board will let me make sure that I know where those 1% resistors go. So I got a phone call just the other night, and I thought, oh, it may be somebody looking to give me work or something. Answered it, and the guy on the other line was like, yeah, is this Maddie Music? And I'm like, no, my name is Benjamin. My company is Odd Frequency. And he said, oh, do you sell parts for Roland Juno 106s? And I'm like, well, I don't really provide parts. I repair Juno 106s. So I have several of the components in my possession. What is it you're looking for? I'm looking for the high pass filter sliding switch, right? So if you don't know, the high pass filter on a Roland Juno 106 is very much like a potentiometer, right? So I've got this Perry's potentiometer, but instead of it sliding and changing the resistance value, it literally just switches between the four positions. It changes where your high pass filter is, and your high pass filter is basically think of the hisses, the high frequencies. The high pass filter is allowing those, so it's cutting your low end, right? Depending upon where it is. It's a very unusual piece, very difficult to find, and I told the guy as much. But I said, "Oh, yeah, well, you may want to try this person or this person." No, I found that. I'm just like, "Oh, I'm curious. Like, how did you find me? Did you find my Instagram, or how did you know to get in touch with me?" Dude found me through Chat GPT. I, I don't know how. I don't get it. Like, uh, I'm not really putting myself out there as somebody who sells parts for Roland Juno 106, but the guy Chat GPT'd his issue, and it led to my phone number and him asking me for a part. Wild. And I have certain feelings about AI, but I mean, if it's drawing people to me, that's cool. But at the same time, like, I don't sell parts. Like, how would AI find me? Because I don't have like a really established presence online. I mean, like, I'm super glad that you all are here, but expertise. Yeah. They know me as a real synth buff. Okay, so Perry shared a link, and this is cool. This is the board, but it's all surface mount now, and the picture is so that I cannot find. I can't see the component names. Thank you so much, though, Perry, for looking for me. I am now on the search for schematics. Cool. Yeah, I mean, like, I understand like finding me for a synth repair, but when you're searching for a part for a Juno 106, like, I don't think that I would be the source for that. But if you're out there searching for a high pass filter switch for Roland Juno 6, you're gonna have some issues. Yeah, all we got is is an owner's manual for this thing. They've hidden this. Yeah, there's only a sliver of information. This thing's hidden, and again, I think it's hidden probably because they realize that sending out kits was giving people trouble. So it was probably like, oh, I bought the kit, I don't know how to put it together, can you help me? And they're just like done with it. So they just, instead of selling kits anymore, they just go with the completed modules. Oh, look, I found my 200K. I'll just likely contact Bubble Sound via email tomorrow, which I don't know, man. You know, maybe their email problem doesn't work either. You know, who knows where they're at as far as companies go. This was a risk I took, and should have built this long time ago. Moving along. 2200 picofarad is going to be 2.2 nanofarad. Like how I do that math in my head. Or 1500 picofarad. I'm kind of wondering if they even sent me all the correct parts. There it is. Here's the 47 picofarad. Anybody got any cool Thanksgiving plans coming up? If you don't celebrate too, that's cool. Let me know what you do. My in-laws are coming into town. This has become a tradition for several years. I'm excited to see them though. It's nice to hang out with them. So we host Thanksgiving at our place. And then I've got a Friendsgiving happening too, which I'm going to smoke a turkey. Yeah, I get it. You love to celebrate it, but family won't let that happen. Yep. That's common. That's where I stand too, in a way. Being around family is good though. I just saw that. I don't like that lead like that. Correct that lead. Hmm. They must have changed some components in between when I bought this board or when they manufactured the boards themselves and when I bought it, because I'm seeing a 2200 picofarad capacitor right here, but there's not a spot for a 2200 picofarad on this board. Ooh, my God. Tell me more. Hattie B's Nashville hot fried turkey? I would get in on some of that. Is that like a seasonal sale thing? Do I have to go to Hattie B's? I mean, obviously I have to go to Hattie B's. I used to punish myself on almost a weekly basis because the shop that I worked at was like half a block away from the Hattie B's on West Side. And every Saturday we would be getting Hattie B's, and oh, that was a lot of hot fried chicken, I'll tell you. Man, we just got into some, pick it up from the catering kitchen near the zoo. These are some hot tips. Order your Hattie B's hot fried turkey today. Oh yeah, Derek. Yeah, peanut oil. It sucks, man. Derek's my buddy, and he's got a peanut allergy. Is it fried? Is the turkey fried? You got me just like my stomach is just kind of like prepping itself for Hattie B's, and I can't think. That's the thing about Hattie B's is when you have it, you just, I used to do the damn hot like tender meal and then get one shut the clock, and boy, talk about heat euphoria. Just, oh man, that's a new kind of high. Well, I guess it's not new, but it's a wild high. All right, so I've got my components where I think they go. This is why I'm a technician. I can troubleshoot all this later, right? We can just keep. We'll do it live. We'll keep rolling. I do have to bring out one other tool. Pipes burning. Yeah. 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 I'll tell you though, Hattie B's was not the hottest I've had in Nashville. I'll tell you a little bit of a story. One night I was meeting a friend. It was actually a former boss when I lived in Kansas City. I was doing a lot of production work, and he came to Nashville and was like, "Hey, meet me out here." I went to Scoreboards. If you're unfamiliar with Scoreboards, it's out near the hotel, the Opryland Hotel, and yeah, I mean, I enjoy Scoreboards. It's a good time. They've got a massive deck now, live music. But I went out there just to have dinner with a friend, and I love wings. I love chicken wings. So I was ordering a plate of wings, and at the time I was just like really in my heat phase, and I ordered their hottest wings, which are called Hiroshima. It's called a Hiroshima sauce. And when I tell you that that burned holes through me, I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, just in absolute pain. And I was in pain. My in-laws were in town again. We were actually heading to vacation the next day. I was in pain for a solid 24 hours after having them. And I couldn't even finish all 8 wings. The server kept on coming up to me, like, as I'm eating. It was just like, "Are you okay? Are you handling this all right? Do you need anything?" And I was like, maybe I should have signed a waiver or something. Never, ever get the Hiroshima sauce at scoreboards. Don't do it. Don't. Trust me. As somebody that likes heat, that likes spice, like that was too much. And it was like an oil, like it was concentrated heat in an oil that they just coated the wings in. I mean, name it after the bombing of a city in Japan. I guess that's what they were going after, was just bombing my guts, bombing my internal organs. It did the job. I will never do it again. All right. So as I'm looking at it, I'll pull this up to the camera a little bit. I'm seeing right here, this resistor, that solder didn't go through all the way. And since this is a double-sided board, I just want to touch that joint up. Cool. Potential mistake avoided. So I've gone from resistors to capacitors. And I basically have put the film capacitors in here because, again, the size of the component and its relationship to the board is what I'm working off, right? How close is it to the board? We'll get those in first. And since I don't have the correct documentation at the moment, I'm moving on. And I started to solder in the op amps, right? First op amps that I installed were some TLO 72s. If you're interested in op amp technology, this is a FET-based op amp. Very high input impedance. Very common to use. And I'm going to go ahead. This is a great tool. This is my IC leg straightener. Oftentimes, if you've ever worked on a board and tried to put in an op amp that was brand new into the correct slot, the pins, the legs will not fit correctly. So this straightens them up and gets them in there. Typically with relative ease. Next up is the LF353. If I had the schematics, I would be loving to show you all the where these are on the schematics and trying to just kind of go through the signal flow with you. But as has been documented in our chats, it's hard to find anything about these. So with the op amps, I typically just take two opposite sides. I bend the leg so that it'll sit there when it's upside down, and I can put the solder on. How do you know you have them in the right orientation? Excellent question. So you can see the outline here, and there's a little notch at the top, right? That notch shows that it's the top. And so the first pin to the left of that notch would be pin 1. Well, with these op amps, they've got little dots on them. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. Those dots show pin 1. So basically, I know where my pin 1 is because of the dot on the IC. And I know where the top of the IC is because of the notch in the board design. So that's how you figure that out. You know, if I really wanted to be a nerd, which I am, but I would maybe, instead of putting these directly on the board, I would probably socket them. So see what I just did? Talking about orientation. There's that dot. I just put it in wrong. Swap it around. No CEM chip. That, what I was just putting on there, that is a 13700. So the 13700 is a, well, let's pull up the data sheet so I don't speak incorrectly. It's a transconductive chip. Transconductance chip. So essentially it's like, well, there we go. Essentially it's multiple transistors. Here you go. I can't even read that, it's so small. Dual operational transconductance amplifiers with linearizing diodes and buffers. So push-pull outputs. These are very, very common. So when you're on the board, when you're changing voltage into current in order to shape it, you'll typically use a transconductance op amp in order to make that. Instead of it being a potential, you're now changing it to the energy or to the flow of current. I'm not sure that makes much sense, but very common. So, you know, I was saying I was working on a mini Moog this week. The mini Moog actually used an LM3086 transconductance amplifier, and that was in between the control voltage and the actual oscillators themselves. So this is a modern configuration. Oh, and I left it on the friggin' screen. Let me go back here. Hey, look, It looks like I'm building something here. Had a beautiful day in Nashville today, that's for sure. The only problem with that beautiful day is that, you know, we'll have a cold day the next day, and then my sinuses will just go absolutely nuts. So instead of using a CEM, and for those who might be watching and be like, what is a CEM chip? CEM stands for Curtis Engineering. And back in the 70s, they were very much a common sort of chip that did basic functions. So, like the CEM 3340 was an oscillator chip. And actually, like, I'm actually using lots of CEM chips in that synth right there, right? This is a memory Moog, and so each oscillator on the memory Moog is a CEM 3340, and it was a single package designed to act as the entire oscillator instead of using transistors or op amps to do that function. They have a unique sound, very, very unique. And it's a very common chip for the older synthesizers. In addition to the CEM 3340, there are chips like the CEM 3360, which is itself a voltage controlled amplifier. So, you know, Curtis Engineering. I actually was talking to a tech friend the other day, running an issue I was having with my my memory Moog that's on the bench about the CEM chips. And I found out that Curtis Engineering actually manufactured CEM 3340s rather recently and had a whole batch. And he said that his company bought like 100 plus of these chips, and they hold them in stock, which I'm surprised by, because like I've either had to find new old stock of those chips or use the remakes, right? So I'm trying to remember the name of the company that has CEM replicas. AS. Boy, company names are just not coming to me right away here. But anyway, replicas of the CEM chips are available. And I think that that's partly because Behringer has been getting into remaking vintage synthesizers. They're cool. They work for the most part, but they won't work in certain circumstances. So I'll go ahead and look it up. There it is. I just purchased some AS 3360 chips. Of course, I get a flight. Alpha, ALFA. a pin-for-pin replica of the CEM 3360, the AS 3360. So those chips are cool. They work for the most part. They don't work in certain circumstances. For instance, we were talking, and the Oberheim OB8, though I believe it's the CEM 3340s, you can't use the new chip because of how the Oberheim does auto tuning. It literally drops the waveform pulse width down so low that it doesn't read with the Oberheim. So you actually have to find CEM chips for that. Just a little tip. What do we want to talk about? Oh my goodness. Huh. They provided sockets. Oh, good information. And that makes total sense, right? So Perry's saying Curtis remade the chips and Dave Smith was using them for the newer Prophet 5S. That tracks, right? Dave Smith, absolutely synthesizer pioneer. And from everything I've heard, really, really cool guy. It would make sense that they would make it for him. All right, it's starting to sound like my playlist has gone off the rails. We were having a good time for a little bit, but now I'm hearing some tones and things that I'm not vibing with. So I'm going to be turning that off and going to Musique Concrète. I didn't even look who it was. I'll look back here and see who that was. It was not good. No, that was Graham Lambkin, Lambkin. No. That's coming up next. Never mind. Who was that playing on my radio? I don't know. It may have been Sabrina Carpenter. I just know that I was not vibing it. Okay. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna go back to that link you sent me, Perry, just so I can see how they built it. That's gonna be useful. Appreciate you sending that again. Okay, so my potentiometers are on the top board, and they've managed to take it down from 3 boards to 2 boards in this module. So let's look at the screws. Okay, so this is going to be my top board. My top board is going to fit like that. And it's going to stack. Okay, so I'm starting to see why they stopped selling these. This is a fun little puzzle. Okay, so why would they do that? Like, why would I have a potentiometer that I essentially will need to adjust to fine-tune this thing underneath another board like that? That's to be quite frank, that's silly. And it's not like I can, well, maybe it would stack like this. But you still can't reach that trimmer, right? So I'm going to have to get to this trimmer somehow. I'm starting to see why they're no longer selling this as a kit. Oh, this is funny. Okay, so maybe this is the backboard. And then this would go on top of that. Should have had a look at this kit before I started this live stream, honestly. I mean, I'm not scared, but it's definitely something that, yeah, I am looking at the pick, and the pick has got surface mount components, and they're in a different placement. So there's a trimmer pot up here, but it's over here. And so, like, the connectors It's going to have to make connection, probably like that, right? And so I'm going to say that my potentiometers and my jacks are going to be on the backside. So that's cool. But then like this board's going to have to stack. So there's my power input. This board's going to have to stack like that somehow, right? But then again, that covers that trimmer. But cute little messages, right? You can't see it. At the top of this board, it says, "My love must be a kind of blind love. I can't see anyone but you." So they're definitely sending me cute little messages. VCOB version 1.0 bubble sound, 2011. Yeah, there is a side view. Unfortunately, though, what that side view is showing me is a double-sided board, right? So this board, so the original, this is the version 1. So this board, I've got 3 different boards. And they've compacted 2 of these boards into one board by using a dual-sided traces and surface mount components. So they've been able to compact all those components into one board instead of 2. Stevie Wonder designed this board. It's a mess. Honestly, I'm gonna have to take a little bit of an internet search break and put it up on my face. Yeah, that was diabolical, but that's kind of why I enjoyed it. My sense of humor is a little bit dark. May have been more musical. Well, this kind of stinks. A lot of times, whenever I do kits like this, they give you a build guide inside the packaging, right? So I've got my package here. and it says full kit. No build guide inside that package. Instead, just a little sheet of paper that, you know, invites me to learn Chinese, and says my lucky number is 5. I'm not sure if that still holds significance, as this is not my lucky night, and I can't find the information I need to make sure that this is completed. So, I mean, it's a party night. I don't have to finish this work tonight. It would have just probably been done by now if the information was at hand. Oh, I just found a Reverb link, a fully built VCOB version 1. Let's see if they've got pictures. No, they don't. They've only got one picture. This sucks. Yeah, I'll bring it up here in just a moment. All right, so I've been searching VCOB version 1. And I got this Reverb listing. Which is no longer available. Oh, cookies. Come on. And it literally gives me the photo of the front. Oh, yeah, message them. That's a good idea. Control up in Brooklyn. I tried to visit Control when I was in New York. Last time I was in New York City, and they were closed, and they had been closed for a while. Not that they had stopped doing business, but their storefront was not available to peruse. I was kind of bummed about it. All right, so I'm definitely going to bookmark that and message them. Thank you so much for the advice. Let's just do images. Okay, this might, no, that's the newer version. When you sit on a kit for 7 years, what am I to expect? So now I'm just kind of like going through. Oh, I got a YouTube video from 9 years ago. Knob twirler. I'm going to show you the oscillator and the switcher a little bit. Of course, I'm just seeing his rack. Can you all hear this audio on the video? The filter self-oscillates.
got a soft. Triangle.
I mean, it sounds like an oscillator for sure.
The oscillator has, of course, fine pulse width. Sine wave. It goes way low, way high. Okay. And both the oscillator and the filter have FM frequency modulation, so we can go ahead. Well, let's do the pulse width modulation on the oscillator first. Use the LFO pulse.
You know, we used to say that once it's on the internet, it's there forever. I think we're finding out that that's not the case.
I don't have an oscilloscope yet. I'll get a little module for that. We can see what's going on with this, but that's basic. Okay. And then we also have frequency modulation. So we'll patch, self-patch from the sine wave.
All right. Well, that guy's got it working. I can too. I just, I was hoping to have a chill party where I was just sitting around shooting the shit and doing some brainless. I mean, I say brainless. It's doing some work that is very much just plug and play for me. Looks like that's just not going to be the case. I'm going to actually have to do some serious digging to find the information that I need. Oh, I'm not going to like this, but ChatGPT claims it can generate a bill of materials from a picture of the board. Yeah, I don't need a BOM though. The BOM is just basically going to tell me what parts to order. I need a schematic. If ChatGPT, I guess I could probably ask ChatGPT to create a schematic from the images of the board. But in order to do that, I would have to remove all the components that I've just placed so that it can see the traces. And it would have to be able to read both sides of the board to draw a schematic. I appreciate that effort though. Look, I don't have anything against ChatGPT as a tool, as you know, a search. I'm a little concerned with oh, okay, schematics in the DIY forums of ModWiggler. Yeah, I am a member of ModWiggler. Okay. I'll go look at ModWiggler for a little bit. I just have to remember my username and password. Maybe I should share my screen and show all that information. Oh, my web browser remembered my information. Okay. Cool. Thank you. Searching BCOB DIY. Let's do it. Bubble sound triangle core. We're having a look, aren't we? Well, so far I haven't been able to see anything about the build guide or schematics. Oh, look, there's the three board. This is going to help me a little bit if it still has the image. Nope, that's the 2 board. Dubka wrote, my main beef with the VCOB is that it looks kind of DIY, but bad DIY. I wonder if they were dealing with the same issue that I'm seeing as I'm just looking at my components and trying to figure out how the boards go together. I wonder if that's what they meant. Well, this project is not lost. I'm not gonna give up on it. I will make this thing happen. Um, but it's just not gonna happen tonight. Again, I was looking forward to talking, just shooting the shit about anything while uh populating this board, but until I know how the boards stack, um I'm hesitant to continue on. So here we are. Um yeah, if you got any questions or any comments or anything, I do appreciate the chat GPT help. I just I wish that um I wish that it wasn't so resource heavy in its use as far as AI is concerned. Um I wish that it wasn't so tied to our economy. I just read an article the other day that ChatGPT was asking for $1 trillion investment from the United States government to boost their port or boost their uh, uh, capital for not research and development, but for basically building all the data centers. And then I've seen videos of people who, pardon me while I eat, people who live next to these data centers and are just plagued by 80 decibel levels of noise at all times. And it would get worse during the day. So we've got all these massive data centers that we're building. We're using drinkable water to cool the GPUs. We are, ever increasingly needing more and more energy to drive basically this technology that, is taking all our shared information, breaking it down, giving it to us in a, easy to use format. But then the results just aren't that incredible to me yet. It's made Google frustrating because I know kind of like what I'm looking for whenever I hit a specific Google search query, but the AI comes up with this whole list of things, and then it's just ad after ad after ad for me to buy things. It's like if we were implementing AI with the purpose of pushing humanity forward, giving workers more time to do what they love, and basically benefiting everyone, cool. Yeah, I'd probably be on board with it more. But DeepSeek, the Chinese version of AI, it was like just a couple of grad kids that built it for like 1/10 of the cost, consumes way less energy, And yet still we have billionaires pushing and pushing to get more government backed money. Our economy is getting more and more tied to the profitability of AI. I don't know. Seems like it's the wrong motive for what we're doing. And also, like, I've gotten bad information from AI. And then on top of it, like, there's a certain level of psychosis. Have any of you like looked at the YouTube videos of people who have been like talking to AI like it's their best friend, and they're basically isolating themselves more and more from actual people, and the AI is like constantly like giving compliments and suggestions that may not work, or may be bad suggestions, and these people are taking it. I mean, like, literally, we have young people that are deciding to unalive themselves because AI told them. I mean, like, that's a huge problem. I I Yes, right. Technology without humanism, right? Like, that's the rub, is um you know the you listen to some of these billionaires who are so big on AI. Like, listen to Peter Thiel. He's talking about the friggin' antichrist. He's going around charging like $40,000 tickets to listen to him talk about the antichrist. And like, they have almost like a dystopian view of the world. And actually, I'll give credit where it's due. Another technician that I listen to, Fran, with Fran Lab, she was talking about it. And talking about AI and how, like, we're getting to a point where we're questioning everything about everything that we see, right? So reality is now becoming blurred because we don't know if it's true or not, or if it's real. Um, in an ideal society, maybe we would have legislators who would be seeing some of these problems that I'm talking about, and that other people are talking about, and they would actually pass legislation to put some limits on this. But our government is bought. Um, and I don't mind talking politics. Honestly, I would rather talk politics with someone face to face, because it would give me the opportunity to hear uh, exactly what they're saying, and respond. It doesn't matter which party in our two-party system that we're talking about. Like, it's all about capital, baby. It's all about that money. And who has the money is who is paying for the campaigns to succeed or fail. I mean, I think we had a pretty obvious example of that recently. Um, so, yeah, the guardrails that could be put in place if we had the right people there uh, haven't been. And so we're just, we'll see what happens. Um, Again, I would love for more people to have free time, to not have to do bullshit jobs, and be able to create, build things, explore their passions, explore what makes us human. But Instead, we're losing jobs and we're not training people for the next step. So we're just going to have a lot of hungry, angry people. Yeah, I don't mean to get too pessimistic about it. I hope that we can find ways together to survive and thrive, right? Yeah. Anybody else got a topic you want to hear me talk about? Ramp. Got a video for me to watch? Oh, I was thinking about it today. Like one of my YouTube favorites back in the day was this guy who was teaching electronics, but he would do it by like shocking himself. I'm gonna have to find him because I used to crack up at him. Oh, I think I'm Electro Boom. Yeah. Anybody else ever see the? Yeah, I agree with that, Derek. Um, Unfortunately, it's the people who have been suffering that are going to suffer the most and be affected the most. It's going to be the most vulnerable communities. It's going to be our elders. Um, People who've retired, and they've retired with their retirement plan based in the stock market. Um, yeah, I mean it's gonna suck, but yeah, I agree with you. I hope that people do come together. That's the big point. I'm gonna go ahead and just to switch gears just a little bit, pull up a trailer for this fella who I found and I really enjoyed back in the day. Let me see. I'm just gonna share this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is fun. Let's watch this together. Electro Boom.
What did I do? Some people say I'm an idiot. What others say I'm a genius. Damn it. But the truth is that I'm just a man with mediocre knowledge. I'm not the hero that you're dreaming of. But we'll work together, hoping forever to fix all the world with the power of love. So please join us to make a better world by clicking on the subscription button below. Right now, our operators are working 24/7 to receive your subscription. Please leave your message after the beep.
All right. Yeah, I wanted to share that just because I remember him, and yeah, I hope that I can bring kind of a similar sense of humor. Perhaps nailed the harmony. Hmm. Electro Boom, he's great. But yeah, Oh, well, it's only 9:16, and I'm kind of stuck off this VCO. What else can I work on? Well, hell, why don't I pull out a key bed and take it apart real quick? See what happens when you come into the live stream. You never know. I might just actually work on your equipment. All right, y'all, hassle me about this VCOB. If you see me in the streets, if you chat with me on Instagram or whatever, just keep reminding me that I've got it, because I am going to figure this out. All right, Derek. May you have a good wind down session. Get lots of rest. Thanks for coming by. I don't know how I'm going to switch camera views at all on this, but let me go get a key bed. Get my snacks off the table. All right, if you got anything you want me to chatter about, feel free to throw it in the comments or whatever. All right, so what I'm going to be doing on this DX7 is taking off all the keys and replacing the key return felts. What's the key return felts, you may ask? Love to show you. Now that song is stuck in my head that he was singing. Something about the meaning of love. I know we'll fight for the honor. I'll be the something that you dreaming of. Is my screwdriver just not magnetic, or are these screws not magnetic? Get my little tub. Magnetize the screwdriver. Cool. All right, so I'm just going to remove the key bed assembly from this frame first. Then I will point out the key return felts. DX7 is a wonderful 80s synthesizer, FM synthesis, I believe, algorithm synthesizer. So the issue with this one is the key felt, the key return felt, right? So when the key returns to position, there's a felt underneath that's supposed to keep it from making a clack sound. This one's real clacky. So I'm going to remove all the keys and we're going to replace that felt, clean out the key bed chassis while we're in here. So you can see the keys each have a key return spring that just pops it back in place whenever the key is released. Just want to make sure that we don't lose any of those parts. The DX7 keys also have lead weights in them that give it that semi-weighted feel. And at about, I don't know, I don't want to guess, but it adds some significant weight to the entire keyboard. If you've ever picked up a DX7, it's a lot heavier than you probably imagine. You know, the top key and the bottom key are important to remember. But honestly, most of these keys, they're all the same. The key weights themselves, there aren't different weights. There are some key beds where like the lower keys will have a heavier key weight on them than the higher keys to get kind of give a specific feel. Not with this particular key bed. They're all the same weight. So it's not as imperative for me to remember exactly which key went where, right? Sometimes you do have to pay attention to that stuff. Since it's party night, if I don't have any more viewers or commenters here in the next 15 minutes, I may call it early because I can. Stacking keys. All right, so I'm gonna grab a bucket. Since I do have to remove all of the keys, I am going to go ahead and give them a bath separately. Just making sure that I don't lose any key springs. And I'm going to clean the key bed chassis, get all the dirt and stuff off of it. I'm going to mute my audio here in just a moment while I vacuum this. All right, so I got the top layer of dust removed. Just want to be careful with the Yamaha key beds because they use an interesting key return or key spring system. Let me grab a tool. Actually, I'll just use a key return spring. So the key pushes this. I don't know if you can see that. All right. Yeah. All right. The key itself pushes this little metal spring and it makes contact from one. Actually, no. Yeah. So it releases contact from one metal piece and then makes contact with the other. And that's how the key trigger is formed. Just because I want to be careful not to damage this part of the board, I'm going to remove it as well before replacing this felt. Well, my cameras went offline. Oh, no, it shows it's still there. What happened to my camera? Well, that's not the camera I wanted to use. All right, cool. My camera's back. Ah, thank you. It happened when I muted, huh? It's weird because I'm not even using that camera's microphone. I'm using a different microphone. Mercury is in retrograde, y'all, so there will be technology situations. At least that's my excuse. All right. Let's see how we're going to get this thing off of here. Need a very small, flat X-Acto knife. Oh my gosh. I could use a specific knife. Okay, yeah. Closer view. How would you like a closer view? Let's see, maybe this. Is that better? I'm gonna get a flat head. So this felt's got an adhesive that connects it to the chassis. And I'm just basically taking a flat head to try to get as much of this old felt off. Yeah. And we're gonna have to get something on there to get that adhesive off too. I'm gonna try some iso alcohol, I think, first. Because I want to avoid also making contact with the key stopper felt, right? So when you press the key down, this is what prevents clacking. When you push it down, when it returns is what this key felt is for. I could probably use like goof off, but again, I don't want to affect this other felt because not only is this other felt, yeah, if the new strip doesn't have felt or adhesive, I've got plenty of spray on adhesive. I can definitely remedy that. But it should just have a peel back with the adhesive on the felt itself. This was not in the plans tonight. So I need to find the box that has the parts I need. Oh, right there behind me. Yeah. Okay. So the new felt's here, and there is a peel back with adhesive under it. So, yeah, the new strips will have the adhesive. All right. Well, apologies for the vacuum sound you're about to hear. Put on some gloves. Killed my music too, didn't I? I will not be asking that. But thank you for the suggestion. And I will have to listen to Glory of Love by Peter Cetera tonight because it's the only thing in my head right now. And the only way that you get rid of a song that's stuck in your head is to let it play through all its glory. I say that, but then also I've experienced the fact where that did not get a song out of my head. It's very hard to believe, but for almost 3 years, I had the track Music from Madonna circa 2000, early 2000s, right? I had that song stuck in my head for like 3 years. It wasn't an everyday thing, but it was at least twice a week, every week for about 3 years. And that was not fun. This was back when I was washing windows in Kansas City. I used to wash windows on high-rise buildings. Yes, that's exactly the line. Music makes the people come together. Yeah. It's not getting stuck in my head this time though. I'm not allowing that. I've grown past that. Something about bourgeoisie too. One of the lyrics. Music makes the people come together. Yeah. Music makes the bourgeoisie something. I'm not going to worry about it too much because I'm not going to listen to it, and I'm not going to allow it to get stuck in my head. So not only am I cleaning the felt off and the adhesive, but I can see that like these posts, the lubricant on the posts, the guide posts here, if you will, is almost gone. So I'm going to re-lube those posts as well when I put the key bed back together. Pushing a little ball of adhesive around. All right, quick poll out there. Madonna or Peter Cetera? Who's more influential? Not on just their generation, but who would be the more influential of the two, Madonna or Peter Cetera, for following generations? Honestly, I may have to go and visit Peter Cetera's entire catalog to get a better grasp of his influence on music. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I'm also thinking Madonna's probably more influential. Madonna shaped pop music. I don't know if you were here for the pop music. Soft rock disappeared. Yeah, Chicago. Yeah. I don't know that soft rock disappeared. I'd say that it has formed into something of a adult alternative catalog. Or yacht rock is still pretty popular, but Madonna's influence on pop music and the pop music persona, I think, is probably what sets her apart as the more influential of the two. Okay. Well, I've got a good amount of that cleaned up. I'm going to go ahead and spray it down one more time. Come back. I hear you with the Gaga taking over that mantle from Madonna. But even like Billie Eilish, although her music is like different, a little bit less of that pop. I mean, like it is very much pop formula and pop music, but man, just even the way that she has changed her style, her look. I mean, she's just taken some serious notes from Madonna's career too. But yeah, Lady Gaga for sure. I don't know much about Chappell Roan. Heard a couple tunes, but anymore I've kind of lost my connection to folks sharing the pop music. I do have friends that have kids, so I get to hear the names from them. But I'm not spending a whole lot of time listening. I think that's gonna be pretty good. I'd say that's pretty clean. Yep, definitely gonna relubricate these posts now. Well, we're pretty good and clean on that. I'm going to let it sit overnight just to get the isopropyl alcohol dried off completely. Come back and do another round of cleaning on with the vacuum. And then apply the new key stop felt. I mean, job's over halfway done there. Well, maybe not over halfway, because I am going to be cleaning the keys. But I'm good for now. Because it's almost 10 p.m. That would be closing time for me. All right, so final thoughts. Thank you for coming and watching me work. What did we learn tonight? Well, we learned that if you're going to build a DIY module, make sure that you have the instructions. And if you're going to buy a DIY module, make sure that you have the instructions and the schematics, if at all possible, when you buy it. Otherwise, you might end up 8 years from that point, and you can't find it anywhere on the internet. So be prepared when you're coming into a live stream. Know what you're dealing with. I didn't. I'm going to have to figure that out. I'm not giving up on that thing yet. It's less about the concerns of the actual technology of AI, but how it's implemented, who's in control of the steering wheels as to its implementation, how it's being used for the greater good of capitalists instead of the actual people that it could be benefiting. A key bed's not that difficult to take apart. There's just a lot of cleaning involved, knowing where to lubricate, knowing the points that you want to avoid, chemicals, getting in touch with, knowing what to take off so that you don't damage it. Yeah. I thought this view was good. I appreciate you coming by. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for commenting. It's been fun talking with you all via the chat. And we'll do it again soon. Have a great night.